So, Rick, we've been answering questions for a few weeks now.
Yeah.
It's been really awesome.
Questions are kind of running thin now. I think we might be down to our last one. I don't know.
What's that mean, do you think?
Well, I'm hearing people say, "You can count on me. I'm all in. I'm a raving fan. I love it." When people use that terminology, people are sharing stories about how kind of taking this seriously is impacting their life. I'm encouraged by that. I've had the opportunity to have a lot of conversations with folks personally. I do know that there were a number of people, hopefully we get to share some of these stories, who when they first heard it, they felt like, man, this is a major change to our church. I don't think I like this. And now they're excited. I think about one guy who I was talking to. He serves almost every Sunday on our guest services team. Shout out to guest services, an incredibly important team. If you're looking for a place to serve, if you're not on a team, join guest services. And so he came up to me and he said, man, last week I was in the lobby greeting people, and people told me, man, things are changing around here, and we're going to start making non-Christians members of the church. And he goes, then I listened to what you said. That's not at all what we're doing. And he's like, I'm excited for what's happening. And I sense that we're turning the corner. Hopefully it's not that people are tired of sharing their questions. We're doing our best to answer every single question we get. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'd say the life group that I'm in every week, and we've had a great conversation over a lot of weeks about mission, vision, and values. And I've watched in my own life group as people have become more and more comfortable. They've asked questions, they've gotten answers, and they're feeling much more comfortable with the pace of change and where we're at.
Somebody said something to me recently. It was the wife of one of our elders, and she said, whenever you talk about something, people feel like this is new, and it's not new. Maybe the way that we're saying some things is new, but this is not necessarily a new direction. We're turning up the heat on things that have been a part of this church for a really long time. It's not new. It might be newly emphasized.
Rick, as a way of introducing this single question that we have this week, you've talked about it in the past, the idea that this mission, vision, and value, you need to take them all in entirety.
Mission, vision, value, and statement of faith. Right. All of them together. Yeah.
Yeah, super important. So I think this really dives into that piece. I'm going to read this to you.
Okay, go ahead.
Let you see what you can say about it. What do you believe is the biblical purpose of the local church? In practical terms, how is Autumn Ridge leadership going to fulfill that?
Yeah, that's a totally understandable question. We think that question is so valuable that we've done a 6-week message series. Right. We've done 2 live Q&As, and we've done a series of video Q&As. That's how serious we're taking this. All of this together is an answer to that question. But let me go back to Autumn Ridge's statement of faith, what we believe as it relates to the church. To even be considered as a candidate, I had to fully endorse this, which I do. And this just kind of reinforces this isn't new. Let me read that. The church, we believe in the universal church, a living spiritual body, which Christ is the head, and regenerated persons are the members. We believe in the local church, consisting of a company of believers in Jesus Christ, baptized on a credible profession of faith, and associated for worship, work, and fellowship. Worship, work, fellowship. And we believe God has laid upon the members of the local church the primary task. This is the primary task. This is Autumn Ridge's statement of faith. This is one of the reasons I was drawn here. The primary task of giving the gospel of Jesus Christ to a lost world. So that, in a nutshell, is our church's purpose, the local church's purpose, what we're all about. Our mission is to lead people to be fully devoted followers of Jesus Christ. So, in a nutshell, that's it. We've been digging into that for 6 weeks, and essentially everything we talk about each week moving forward relates to that. And every single ministry that we engage in, and everything we invite people to participate in, should help them fulfill that purpose. That's our job. It's our job to equip people for the work of the ministry. This morning I was reading my devotional reading, what the Apostle Paul wrote in chapter 1 of Colossians. He said, He is the one we proclaim, Jesus. Jesus is the one we proclaim, admonishing and teaching everyone with all wisdom, so that we may present everyone fully mature in Christ. So that we may present everyone as fully devoted followers of Christ. Whether you say disciple, fully devoted, fully mature, we're saying the same thing. The concept, the definition is the exact same. That is our purpose. And so when we teach, We're encouraging people to take their next step toward Jesus or their next step with their relationship with Jesus. When we offer classes, it's to answer questions, to help people move towards Jesus, or to answer questions and to give information for the purpose of transformation so that people move forward in their relationship with Jesus. When people get together in life groups, when people circle up together, it is for the purpose of not just information, but also connection and transformation. The Christian life is not lived alone. Information alone will never get you there. Information alone will never get you to transformation. Information, connection, and transformation. It's connecting with Christ and connecting with other believers. Relationships change the world. It's what God uses to change us. God is Trinity. He's three persons in one being for all community, for all eternity. Ultimate reality is ultimately about relationships. If you want to grow, you have to be in community. You have to be in relationship. If it's good enough for God, I think it's good enough for people who are made in His image. And so you got to move towards those kinds of relationships where you open up and give people permission to speak truth in your life and encourage you, and you do the same for them. Where we have opportunities where people engage in ministry and serving in the church, serving in the local community, serving in our global community. I don't know how to answer this question quickly and succinctly. It's essentially everything that we do.
Yeah.
And time is so precious and the task is so sacred. We're not interested in funding or giving our time and resources to anything that is not mission critical.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a weird time right now, right? In the season of COVID.
Yeah.
This person asked for in practical terms.
Well, let me give you an example. This past weekend, we had a Blocktoberfest trunk or treat, and there were over 1,400 people who came to that. The overwhelming majority are from the local community, not associated with Autumn Ridge Church. I've done things like this many times in my 20 plus years as a pastor. Never have I heard so many people say, "Thank you. This is so meaningful to us." Some of those people have already signed up to bring their kids to our kids ministry on this past Sunday morning. I would love for you, if you're not on a team right now, you're not high risk, if you're comfortable going to the grocery store, if you're comfortable being out in public, if you're comfortable being in a safe, large space, I want to encourage you to come to a service and serve in our kids ministry team, because you're not just serving the kid, you're also serving those moms and dads who have a chance to hear the gospel and either take their step towards Jesus or their next step in their relationship with Jesus. There are all kinds of services. There are all kinds of important things. Leading a life group, you could help people move forward in their relationship with Christ. There are all kinds of opportunities that are incredibly important. Just this week, I got an email from someone who said, "I listened to the message on truth and grace, and this is how it impacted me personally." This individual shared with me about just a very difficult work circumstance. As I read this, I thought, one, I'd be incredibly frustrated if I was in her shoes. Two, I would feel like injustice was put upon me, and this isn't right, and this isn't fair. And she said that she just talked to her spouse about it, and they prayed about it. And she decided, I'm going to give grace relentlessly, and I just feel free, and God has changed my life. And so that's part of my job as a pastor. This is the gospel, and invite people to say, all right, I'm going to take that seriously, and I'm going to apply it to my life. And then they experience the fruit of that. And I wrote back to her today and said, this is my prayer for you, that the people who you work with, your colleagues, will sense grace in you that comes from God, and because of your influence, they will be drawn to God because of you. And so it's that kind of stuff, and it's the cumulative effect of all of us doing that. It's not just, I know I'm kind of going long and ranting here, you'll have to forgive me. It's not like the church staff does it.
Right.
It's not like the pastors do it. Our job is to give you everything that you need so that you have everything at your disposal to live the Christian life. A huge part of that is teaching God's word, but empowering you and giving you every opportunity and every resource available so that you can do the work of the ministry. That is where an impact is made. That's why things like Compassion Evangelical Hospital are making a huge impact over in Africa. That's why all the generosity efforts that take place in and through this church to the local community, such an impact. It's not because the pastors are doing it, it's because you're doing it. And it's our job to fan the flame, encourage, and equip to those ends.
Yeah, let's circle around to practical again. The best way you can do this,
Yeah.
autumnridge.church. Join a team, join a group.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody.